Chapter 18, New York City, June 15, 2015, afternoon. Donald Trump knows television. I love television. He watches TV news all the time and has been a genuine TV star himself. I even had my star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. So on the first day of his campaign for president, it is television that he seeks out. Wouldn't you? Specifically, the O'Reilly Factor on the Fox News channel. Like I said before, I trust Bill. Trump is acutely aware that the Factor is the highest rated cable news presentation in America, often reaching more than 5 million viewers for its two airings at 8 and 11 Eastern Time. He also believes that many Factor viewers will be receptive to his message. I think so. There is, however, one problem. The guy in the anchor chair is unpredictable. He could ask anything. He once called Congressman Barney Frank a liar on the air. So speaking before the taped interview begins, Trump jokingly tells Bill O'Reilly, your humble correspondent, to take it easy on me. Yeah, take it easy on me. To which I reply, why would I do that? Smart aleck. Donald Trump is fascinated by success in all fields. His friend, the late George Steinbrenner, was like that too. And Trump thinks about why people succeed. He actually studies achievement in the most competitive industries. But what Donald Trump does not know that June afternoon is that the press is drastically changing. The rise of social media is devastating the newspaper industry because readers can now access information on their smartphones. That's why they're called smartphones. Television and radio are losing younger audiences to video games and incessant texting. Broadcast outlets are becoming desperate for people to watch them, so new strategies are being employed. One of those strategies will bring huge success to Donald Trump. In order to cut through all the high-tech clutter and texting distraction, TV personalities now have to take chances and say outrageous things, at least sometimes, if they want to get noticed. That's why I do that sometimes. I want to get noticed. If you do that, you will get attention. And for a politician, that may lead to votes. How do you think I got into the White House? Donald Trump's unspoken media strategy in his quest for the White House is to dominate television news and avoid the print press as much as possible. He knows that most of his Republican opponents are absolutely clueless about the media, and that his likely Democratic opponent, if he secures the nomination, Hillary Clinton, generally despises TV news. Secretary Clinton feels comfortable only when she's controlling the situation, and rarely does or says anything spontaneous. That's why she sucks. Trump believes he is a commanding presence who generates good TV ratings. I am. And he is absolutely correct about that. See, what did I tell you? But what Donald Trump does not anticipate leading up to his campaign kickoff is the intense media backlash that will soon develop. That will shock him. Shocking! However, during the first few months of the campaign, Trump will manipulate the TV news outlets in a way never before seen in America. Cable news will become one giant Donald Trump show. And it all begins in a Trump Tower office looking out over Fifth Avenue. Welcome to the Donald Trump Show. I'm your host, Donald Trump. From the beginning of his presidential quest, Donald Trump really has little to lose, and that's one of the main reasons he won. Unlike most politicians, Trump does not play scared. He lets it fly. Not particularly interested in verbal accuracy, Trump primarily wants reactions from his audience. If people don't accept him in the political role, hey, so what? His brand is everywhere. He can keep his day job. Look at the positives. As I prepared to interview candidate Trump, I did not think he had a chance to secure the Republican nomination. But you were wrong. But I knew Donald Trump would make my daily life as a political commentator much easier, and was beyond pleased that he had given me the first interview. Trump was great copy, as they say in the newspaper world. Millions of folks would watch the interview and help my task, which was to stay atop the ratings. And there would be many more Trump stories to come. More to come. As long as Donald Trump remained in the race, life would be good for TV news. Anything might be said, anything could happen. The one trouble spot was Trump's ego. As an interviewer, you have to control the candidate, or he will dominate the screen, reducing you to a cabbage. That's what I do. My style on television is confrontational. I brook no nonsense from anyone, especially hustling politicians. So just before Donald Trump and I sat down to tape in mid-afternoon, I had already written the introduction that I would say later that evening on the air. We would open the show with Trump speaking to an adoring crowd in his own building. Ladies and gentlemen, I am officially running for President of the United States, and we are going to make America great again. Yay! Then from my anchor chair, I would deliver this. Along with that announcement, the 69-year-old Trump released his net worth today, about $9 million. He spoke for the better part of an hour, basically saying that current politicians are wimps who will never solve the intense problems America has. That's right. Trump says he can solve them, and boy did I. After that lead-in, we would begin the interview, which again had been taped a few hours earlier. Speaking with powerful people on TV is like a prize fight. You have to measure your subject, jab a bit before the hard shot. I assume Donald Trump had some rehearsed answers, but he rarely stays on script, especially if you rattle him. Other politicians, Jeb Bush is a good example, will never deviate from their pre-planned words. So boring. I began casually with Trump. How are you going to defeat ISIS? I would hit them so hard. I would find a general. I would find the Patton or the MacArthur. I would hit them so hard your head would spin. Are you telling me that you're going to send American ground troops into Syria where ISIS was basing? I'm not telling you anything. And the reason I'm not is because I don't want them to know the game plan. Clever answer to a provocative question. Another ground war in the Middle East would rattle many Americans. Donald Trump parried the query well and never deviated from his answer. I'm not tipping off the enemy, but he was not tipping off the voters either. Then I turned to the Russian leader Putin, a source of angst for President Obama. What do you do to Putin? Putin has no respect for our president whatsoever. He's got a tremendous popularity in Russia. They love what he's doing. They love what he represents. So, we have a president who is absolutely... You look at them. The chemistry is so bad between those two people. I was over in Moscow 2 years ago. And I will tell you, we can get along with those people and get along with them well. You can make deals with those people. Obama can't. So, you can make a deal with Putin to stop his expansionism. I would be willing to bet I would have a great relationship with Putin. It's about leadership. Based on what? Based on a feel, okay? You know, deals are people. You sound like George W. Bush. He looked into Putin's soul and said he was a good guy. Come on. Bush didn't have the IQ. Again, Trump simply says he's going to make a deal with Putin. Period. End of discussion. He'll do it. That effectively kills follow-up questions, unless you want to ride a rhetorical merry-go-round. Pretty brilliant when you think about it. No details on ISIS. They'll just get them. No specifics on Putin. He'll secure deals. Let's go home. Not yet. Sensing that he was getting overconfident, I pounced on Trump's promise that he would build a wall on the southern border and that Mexico would pay for it. I actually laughed when you said you were going to build this giant wall from San Diego to Bronzeville and the Mexicans are going to pay for it. The Mexicans are not going to pay for the wall. Let me tell you, the Mexicans are the new China. What they are doing to this country? Interrupting. They're not going to pay for the wall. You have to let me handle that, okay? Well, how are you going to make them pay? Because they are ripping us off so badly. Okay? I'll tell you. Tell me. I'll start charging them for their products coming into this country. Mexico is living off the United States. So you try to strangle them economically unless they pay for the wall. They will pay. The wall will go up, and Mexico will start behaving. The interview was classic Trump. Confident, dismissive of skepticism, combative all the time. As president, Mr. Trump did handle ISIS well. Yes, I did. But he has been haunted by Putin in Russia. Also, the wall remains elusive. Thanks to the Democrats. Wrapping up Donald Trump's first campaign interview, I asked about his political opponents. Final question. Your Republican rivals, they're going to come after you. It's okay. You don't really take criticism all that well. You lash back. Yeah, I lashed back. Why wouldn't I lash back? The president is supposed to have some kind of elevation where you overlook some things. You're not real good at that. I get things done better than anybody. Are you going to slash and burn through the Republican field? Well, I don't have a lot of respect for many of them. Honestly, though, I won't be the nicest. I'm not going to slash them. I'm going to be honest. They don't have it. Are you going to look Jeb Bush in the eye and say, "You're this, you're that"? Sure. I'm not a big fan of Jeb Bush. The last thing we need is another Bush, believe me. So you're going to slash and burn. This country. If we have another politician, including Hillary, this country is going down. The ratings for that interview were enormous. Every network now wanted Trump as much as possible because he was taking viewers away from their electronic devices and bringing them back to the tube. Trump understood that. He also knew it was all about him. Just as he likes it. And just as he planned. In fact, the Trump mania became so pronounced that the very liberal CNN and MSNBC networks even started broadcasting his rallies. No other Republican candidate got that kind of exposure. Not even close. No, because I am the best. As Trump brought in high ratings, which translated directly into advertising dollars, the other 16 Republican hopefuls became media afterthoughts. Yes, they did. I'm the best. My program actually tried to get Jeb Bush on to reply to Donald Trump, but he was too busy the next day. Sure he was. And the day after that, and the day after that. What did I tell you? It was incredible. The neophyte Trump was climbing in the polls, and some of his rivals were turning down national interviews. Meanwhile, Trump was making TV news great again as viewers poured in to watch him verbally annihilate someone or something. The Donald was everywhere. That's right, I am everywhere. It was like a nonstop Jerry Lewis telethon. Every day, Donald J. Trump was in your living room having his way with the national television media. He was ready to rumble and good to go. That initial media blitz lasted almost 8 long summer weeks until the first Republican debate in Cleveland, Ohio. Little did candidate Trump know what awaited him on that night. But there was no hint and no way to prepare. But suddenly, a major campaign obstacle appeared, and her name was Megyn. Oh dear God, not Megyn Kelly.